So back again with another super interesting vlog of me ranting and whatnot. I'm eating, what is it? What do you call it? Käse. The Schinken and Käse, you know. But also listening to, what is it? Iron Cthulhu, dark ambient stuff and whatnot. It boils down to this. I kind of looked at the Google Pixel Android 16 desktop mode, and it was quite interesting. Then there was this person in work-related matter, which was quite annoying. High maintenance profile. Fuck you for that. No, seriously, fuck you. Your passive aggressive tone makes everyone hate you secretly. I noticed. This is a fact. Then I was talking to another person, quite important, and well, I'm on my way home now. And this means I wanted to take the bus, but taking the bus and recording a video and talking is super cringe. But walking by myself while talking is not super cringe. In general, I think I managed to do the things I wanted to do, but way too slow. Like one whole fucking week was wasted with my setup that I had planned. I was reading and learning and lurking and found out what I needed to do, but still, I had different goals in my mind, you know? So seeing this kind of confused me. Not just that, next week is my final week. It would be nice if I could finish everything, like my whole project, or 50% of it, as I'm currently in a good time frame, you know. This means if anything goes according to plan, I'll like seriously get my degree or paper, what it's called, and then that would be quite nice, as I plan on not fucking this up. But way too many stress-related things come in between, and the process itself is not helping. Then there's the fact that the question about using hardware in a certain manner while ditching software, while still learning software, while still reading and all that. I think it gets a little, it has become a little much. Alright. Let's see how this turns out. In general, I have a little bit of this and that plan. But still, I totally forgot the main subject of the video. I think it's funny. The main subjects are always in the background, while the background subjects are in the background. Someone said, Merlin, you should kind of do encryption where you are, or a location or a spot. That would be nice, split into various videos. Since those videos don't gather many views and watches and whatnot, I'd rather give out the full detail. Something like, what is it? REIHER, and later on the next piece will follow. What else do we have? The main subject was WEG 4A 85055. This is where I hit the body. You know, nah. I mean, you can look for a body, but you won't find not a dead one at least, or in such a matter of way that we say what is even dead or alive. As if we think about it, is this really living? Is it really living we're all doing? I think not. How should I put that? Yeah, the main subject for like 2 or 3 weeks I've been joining Discord groups, and apparently here's what's happening. Discord is like 80 or 90% people under 18 apparently, and I didn't notice. And I'm telling you this so you're aware, dear listener. So I was talking with a person, the person was underage. I didn't think about this, you know, but here is my rule of protection in general, helping you to stay out of prison. This is also what helps to, we can use a simple programming logic if you look at it. You gotta think like this. If you're talking with a person, if you initiated the conversation, if the other person initiated the conversation, if there has been no information exchange about age, then the person is underage. You know, I mean, you can debate blah blah blah, but this is just you talking yourself into prison, and I don't think you want that. So assume the worst always. I was talking with ChatGPT about this thing. No, not every opportunity is a threat. That is when you slip into a threat. That is literally the definition of a threat. If you want to stay away from trouble, here's what you do. Like I said before, think about the person that you're talking to. There is maybe also the rule of thumb. I think it's quite ironic. While the younger generation is able to write and respond, like me, they're underage. You know? So the people who don't write back, who are not underage, they will not write you back. So you are in this dilemma, you know, of you can only contact people not full of age, and this is troublesome, as my main goal is you know, people above this age, and it seems impossible, you know. So keep this in mind, be wary, be paranoid, you know. And it's not helping that they all call themselves like slurs in every kind of manner and way. There's this, this is definitely not helping, but there's also no communication going on. I do understand the point of not doxing yourself, but it's quite interesting, you know. When you think about a privacy point, from a privacy viewpoint, it's advisable that you never contact anyone or never use the internet. You know, maximum privacy is not using any device, not using the internet, whatnot. But from a how should I put this? Information viewpoint, standpoint, there should be some basic information provided. Here's what I do. I set up my profile with a fake age, and here's the funny thing. People kind of have serious issues, you know. If I tell somebody I'm 31 or 33 or 35, maybe I'm one of those, maybe I'm all of those, you know. How about I just, in regards to, how about I call myself older, you know, just a higher age. Why? Because a lot of people suspect that you'll choose a younger age, since people sort of have a problem with age and whatnot. I mean, we all rather be young. I do understand this, but here's the funny trade-off. While young means energetic, old means focused. And you have this slide where you can adjust the parameters and the settings and whatnot. But it kind of stays the same. It's a zero-sum game. So, what are you ready to sacrifice? Uh-huh. They both kind of suck. So being young and full of energy, wow, nice. But you can't fucking focus for shit. I know there are exceptions, so fuck you in this regard. But when you're older, you have like a little bit more perspective in certain areas, and this helps a lot. And you know, you don't have to make a rash decision. Plus, the most recent, what is it? A drop of wisdom, of teachings I'm reaching and learning, accepting, being awakened sort of, is, or woken up to, is the fact that if somebody writes one letter, you should write one letter back, you know? This is a fair exchange. Don't invest even 1 millisecond of more energy, as this is wasted potential, which could have been used for any other thing, like gambling, or self-harm, or drug abuse, I don't know. I don't care. Everything is more helpful at this point. And I do think it's helpful if we keep this mindset, in mind. You would have guessed the mindset should be kept in one's mind. But yeah, seriously. Only this. So these are like the 2 golden rules of maybe 2026 for me, as this will become my mantra. People who write back are underage, you know, worst case scenario. Therefore, block them, ignore them, delete them, and you should be fine, you know. People who don't write back are not underage, but yeah, that is this is how the universe works, you know. Sometimes you lose and sometimes you lose, but you can choose the flavor of losing, you know. You have the red loser taste, you have the red ice cream, but you have also the blue ice cream, the blue loser taste. So what kind of taste are you choosing, you know? What kind of taste are you preferring? And I suppose this is what makes us us, you know? Choosing certain flavors of losing, and this is the outline, our border, how everything, how we are, how we work, personality traits, psychology, tics and whatnot, OCD. This is how we are built. And this is my perception of the world. And at the moment, I do quite like this concept, you know? Yeah, what else is there to say? I mean, yeah, like I said before, this thing sucked. So here's the thing. The next thing then is, like, this is a big group, apparently like 970,000 users, you know? I gotta think about 2000s era stuff, when Marilyn Manson was a thing, and Counter-Strike and whatnot, and children shooting up schools and whatnot. And it was always like the musician's fault, or the video game company's fault, or like with Discord, it's Discord's fault, it's the mod's fault, it's everyone's fault. But never ever, don't you ever dare blaming those parents giving unrestricted access to the internet to a not fully developed mind, you know? And so by those fucking parents, because these parents don't care and don't give a fuck, I have to care now, you know? They sort of transmitted the burden onto me, because why was this child online, you know? Just fucking stay off the internet, you know? Is it so hard? Stay in your group. And here's the funny thing. When I grew up, I never had the chance for internet. My mother was like, strictly technology is bad, because a vivid hallucination told me so. And there's all the reasoning and arguments I need. So ironically, I came from an era where the internet was raw and wild and uncensored and the wild wild west. And even though it might be disturbing, from a freedom-loving aspect, I love this. But sadly, my a certain person in my family gave me a USB stick with mobile data, and I had to pay like 30 or 40 euros per month, so I could get like 10 gigabytes of internet per month, per fucking month. You wouldn't believe it, but I went outside quite often visiting my friends, either because of internet access or just relaxing or hanging out, listening to music, watching movies, playing games, because now you can say all this chronic online activity is toxic, and we might even come to a certain terms where I might agree, but the fact remains, the internet gets censored more and more. The reason is child protection. And this leads us back to the parents, you know. We're going there. First of all, we have the big companies scanning user IDs. So in order to verify users, just for the sake of children, no? Does not anyone think about the children, like in Simpsons? On one hand, on the other hand, this is perfect material for companies to spy on you, who you are and how you look. And this can be filled into an AI database, which can be exploited, so the company can be punished, and they will pay $50 once in 10 years. And the government says, yeah, this sounds fine. And the company says, yeah, that sounds fine. And the user says, yo, what the fuck, you leaked my user data. And everyone is happy. And first of all, this boils back down to the fucking parents not being able, you know. This is a basic concept. Do you understand the apparatus you are handling? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then why would you hand the shit over to your child? If the answer is yes, then the question is, how do you intervene? I don't know, censor, block, and filter out shit that should not be seen, stuff that should not be accessible. You know, that's the next thing. And all of this because parents say, yeah, it's and chic, it's très chic, it's in mode, it's stylish, it's fresh, it's hip. How about we get some offspring of our own, take care of it for 5 seconds, and here's your smartphone, you know? And I hate this, man. Now I need to watch out, you know? I'm basically already at a not zero trust level, but low trust level. And this shit enhances and magnifies and accelerates this process of not trusting anyone. Because, fun fact, the internet is sometimes not full of good people with malicious intent, and sometimes they lie, and sometimes they pretend to be someone. You know, this reminds me of this 4chan green text, where somebody says, blah blah blah, been online, blah blah blah, riding with a 14-year-old girl. She tells me she is an FBI agent, and I said like, oh, how cool is that? In your age, you're already FBI agent, you know, making fun of the fact that this is a CIA person or FBI or whatnot, you know. And yeah, you never know if these are also field agents, you know. I'm 12 and what is this? You know, this meme. You never know if this is some sort of agent that works trying to, how should I put this, recruit you, you know, like Chris Hansen stuff. But not just that, also with they contort and twist. I'm not kidding, man. They say, yeah, but why did you write this person who appeared to be underage? And then you, what? I didn't even notice. This is no excuse. You know, this is like in Germany. There's this idiom that says, not knowing something doesn't mean you're guilt-free or something like this. By this logic, everyone should study law for like 10 years, you know? Get like the law degree. And I suppose this is what's happening. This is, one option is like studying law, or the other option is be like super, you know, suspicious, everything looks suspicious to you, being super paranoid, you know? Turn your paranoia to 11 or something like that. This might help and ease the pain, you know? Everyone's an agent trying to get you. For what? That's not clear at the moment. It could be many things, you know? Being undercover more, being a weasel, being sent to a wall, you know? But Merlin, you sound like you've seen too many movies. Yes, I do. I have seen quite some movies, yeah. But you can also prove me wrong. No. So that's what's happening. Not just that, I don't know. A lot of things. A lot of things piling up. So you keep in mind, everyone's an agent, everyone's trying to get you. They come from some sort of angle. Everyone has an angle. Everyone tries to sell you something, you know. Yeah. Then you stay in this role for 80 years, and then you drop that. And this is how it should be. This is the environment we kind of build, and this is the environment we have to live. Yeah. In the meantime, you can ease the pain with hedonism, you know, or trying to things not get to you. Maybe it's also the fact that the fear is eating me up, but who cares at this point, you know? It's basically a switch mode between fear and apathy. And these are the two modes I seem to operate and work with. And yeah, you can kind of guess that the apathy is the good part. But yeah. Then I was talking with this guy. Allegedly, fuck, come to think of it, he told me that he was 18. This kind of confirms, Jesus man, now that I mentioned this, it makes sense. Fuck. Are they all underage? Fuck man. Like, anyways, he allegedly told me he was 18. He told me like, whatever, reading drugs and research and white papers and how crypto works and IT and medicine stuff and whatnot. Yeah. There's a certain spark. There's a certain spark that kind of dies when you hit 30, I suppose. You know? This is where you say, it's okay if I go to sleep today and don't wake up tomorrow. I've done my, you know, not like in a suicidal way, but the edge is off, you know. I remember with 27, 28, I vivid colors, all these plans and ideas. It's not like I'm doing nothing, you know, I'm recording this video right now. But the fact remains that, yeah. I've grown numb to everything, you know. Nothing punches through. I'm here, yet I'm on a different planet, man. And sometimes it would be nice if I could reach Earth. And in some degree, I'm still here. But I can tell you in which. Yeah. It would be nice if I could go back. But how do you go back from somewhere where you don't even know, you know, percentile-wise speaking, how much of you is adrift and out there? How much, you know what I mean. Sweet, sweet suffering, man. You know. The funny thing is, he told me also like, you know, there are drugs out there, man. What can I cure you? And I told him, you know, this comes with a trade-off. Then I get side effects or withdrawal syndrome and switching medications and whatnot. Doesn't sound like a plan. This is like consumer oriented. And this is also what all the anti-drug programs tell you. In the best case, you do the absolute minimum so your body doesn't give in and it shuts the fuck up. you know, so your mind can do its thing. This is quite nice. If you reach a state where, let's say you're working in front of the PC and you can do your shit, and you don't have to piss, you don't have to shit, you don't have to jerk off, you don't have to talk to anyone, you've done your paperwork, you've slept enough, you've talked with everyone you need to talk about everything, and now you can sort of focus on the things that matter to you, and you can progress and you can finish this kind of thing. Then when this thing is finished, you go on to the next thing, and you do this until you feel quite mentally nourished, you know. Today was a good day, today was a productive day. I managed myself. Even though time tries to kill me, or time managed to kill me, as another day has passed, I did something that makes my existence temporarily worthwhile for this very day. You know? Exist, produce, die. The output that you deliver in regards to being self-sustaining, being able to break out of the shit, being self-reliant, that is all the key, you know? Well, the question is, let's suppose I'd get there. I'd be able to break out. What then, you know? I didn't plan this far ahead because I haven't reached this goal yet. But if I might, I'd seriously have to look into the way I think and speak and talk and speak and talk and also all the other things. In the meantime, I know that I gotta deliver on certain key milestone projects and whatnot. Understanding this process, trying to not unlearn how I speak, because in the past couple of weeks I feel like I'm getting worse at speaking. And I remember I had like a time where I was like fluently speaking without thinking, sort of, you know, Zen state. And then I was stuttering. I love the word stuttering, you know. If somebody stutters, I have to say stuttering. I stood. This is not a helpful word. As a matter of fact, it sounds quite ironic and even hurtful. Let's even say triggering. But yeah, I kind of unlearned this with the fluent speaking. Then I relearned it. Now at the last couple of weeks, it feels like I'm missing my vocabulary in regards to fancy, small sounding words, medical words, you know, justice, law terms and whatnot, slang lingo, a mixture, wordplay. I feel like I'm hitting dementia, man, dementia road. But yeah, I'll get myself now ready for driving back home to the train, Munich to Ingolstadt, where it'll take, in theory, 50 minutes, but because of Deutsche Bahn, it'll take approximately, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 hours. Who cares? Deutsche Bahn doesn't look at time like we look at time. For them, this is relativity, you know? They take this Albert Einstein's relativity thing by heart.